All right. Welcome to the first episode of my podcast. Now, this is just an intro. I didn't even give you a name because we haven't even come up with that. But we've been putting this on hold for way too long. And we just feel like we just can't not go another day without doing this podcast. The original plan was 2021, I believe, where I really wanted to do a podcast. So, without further ado, yours truly, Sid Sanger. If y'all know me by my real name, you've known me most of my whole life or when I started streaming on Mixer. So, a little bit about myself. A little bit about myself. Just again, this is just an introduction. So, we're going to start off with a little bit about myself. Born in the States, raised in El Salvador for several years of my life, my childhood. What an amazing childhood that was. Got to live a little bit of both worlds. My parents, how they lived, and now the States. Uh, big on soccer. Main sport right there, football, right? I did not learn about American football until I was 11 or 12 years old. I've been a gamer my whole life. I've been lucky enough that I have older brothers and older sisters, and an older sister, but older brothers who were gamers themselves. So they started out with their Nintendos, Ataris, and every time they will get a newer console, I'll get the hand me downs. So yeah, so my first ever console was the Nintendo. The box got a blow on that on those little cartridges, like big cartridges. I mean, you did that with the Super Nintendo as well, but then moved on to that. But my first console owned, like my parents, like, it was gifted to me by my parents and not passed down, was a Nintendo 64. Which, funny story that we'll leave for another day. If y'all want to ask it in the comments, let me know. I can tell y'all the story on how I thought the Sega the Sega was gonna be my actual console. But that's a story for another day. So just another introduction. Gamer, sports fanat, like this is like a nerd haven, right? I am a nerd of all stuff. So if you've watched me on TikTok, I mentioned the whole I mentioned the whole the nerdum is not what it is about that makes you a nerd. A lot of people think nerd, oh, back when I was younger, a nerd would be considered an anime fan. When I was little, being an anime fan got you bullied. That's how much of a nerd people thought you were if you watched anime. Anime, like, I mean, Sailor Moon, Saint Seiya, the Dragon League. People don't even know what the Dragon League is. To be honest, I think that's just like in foreign countries. Because I ask all the friends I've had here growing up if they knew what that was, and they had no clue. Uh, but but yeah. So when we get to that, like I said, we're gonna be doing some editing. I thought I wasn't gonna do editing. I wanted to put my bullet points, introduction, right? From El Salvador, born here, love my sports, love my anime, love my Pokemon cards. So my Pokemon's anime. I love my action figures. I love my comic books, and as y'all can see, I'm surrounded by Funko Pops. So I mainly started social media because everyone was doing it. It got to a point where I actually, I was like, I can do this. I can do this whole social. Vine is actually the reason why I said I want to be more like an influencer, sort of, for the fun of it. It all started for the fun of it, right? All the streaming, everything started because I wanted to have fun, and I ended up liking it. I ended up making friends from all these other platforms that it made me want to do it even more. So then podcasting became a thing, and I was like, man, I could see myself doing that in the near future, and here we are. I haven't been streaming lately. If you know me from my streaming days, you're like, man, we haven't seen you, Sith. It's been a while. I used to go by Ruben Sanger when I first started streaming, and things started to change, and name started to change, so we landed at Sid Sanger. I've had so many gamer tags, and we can talk about that in another episode. But the main reason, we've already gone through 5 minutes of this video, and man, we have a lot to talk about. So basically, this is gonna be the shortest episode y'all gonna get. Most likely, my episodes are gonna be between 45 to an hour long. Sometimes they'll be the shorter it'll be. Aside from this one, because it's just an introduction video and kind of like what you guys should be expecting from this podcast, it is gonna be the shortest, like a 35-38 minute video. There, because of course there's gonna be things that I'm probably gonna talk for like an hour and a half, but I'm definitely gonna be doing some editing. This might be a raw video, like not Monday Night Raw, but without any editing. Who knows? I still got time, so you guys are gonna be getting. I don't even have a set time for these episodes to drop, but I am debating between Tuesdays and Wednesdays when they'll drop. Record them on the weekends. But you guys are getting this episode. If you guys are watching this, you are watching it on a beautiful Monday afternoon, or at least I hope it's beautiful, a beautiful day where you're at. Like I even, you know, we never know. It could be raining. It could be like Maryland. A lot of November, a lot of the fall. Of course, when all the leaves are on the floor, it rains, so those leaves get stuck everywhere. Anyways, and basically this is gonna be basically a nerdum, right? This is gonna be a nerd haven. That's not even the name of the channel, of the show. It's gonna be something something with Sid Sanger, and then sometimes you'll say something something with Sid Sanger with guests, because I will be having guests. So let's get that right out of the way. People were wondering. I am gonna be having guests depending on the topic. Some days I'll even have multiple guests. I'll have a guest for the first segment of the day, and for the second segment of the day, it'll be a different person. Why? Because being a nerd is not what it is about, and that's where I got off topic. What is not what it is about, but it's about how big or how passionate you are about that topic that you like. Like, you've heard of a football nerd? I have heard of an NFL nerd, a basketball nerd. Like, it's just how much above and beyond. Like, I'll wake up. I don't live in England. I That's the Premier League I watch the most, and if my team plays at 11, 10 a.m. over there, I have to be up here. I have to be awake at 4 a.m. and I will do that. Like I will dedicate a whole day around a specific sport or passion. So with that being said, we are gonna do like bookmarks on these streams, right? We're gonna do on these live, on not lives because they're not gonna be live. Some might, but they're gonna be. We're gonna be doing what's called well, you can call them bookmarks on YouTube, right? Where you can actually not forced to watch everything. You can watch the intro, the introduction, and then if you hover over the bottom of the video, you can go ahead and get to the section that you want to be. So if you're a friend of mine from the Funko Pop community and we're talking Funko, whether there's news about new Funko Pops, whether there's just um concept art what we want to share, because I might do that, like things that I've seen that I would love for Funko to do that we don't have. We can move on. Then you can go to the action figure or the comic book. Comic book and Funko are gonna be mostly mashed in together because I do a lot of segments where I talk about a comic book and I see a cover that I'm like, man, this will great. This will make a great, or a scene on the comic book that this will make a great Funko Pop moment, or just Funko Pop itself, etc. Then there'll be like our anime talks. We'll talk manga. Maybe we'll talk about what if Goku faced so and so. What if, man? What if these two worlds match? Like just a guest and I nerding out. Maybe talking about our favorite fight scenes of a certain anime, etc. We're gonna talk about a certain with sports. It's gonna be less sports. Sports is gonna be more like we're gonna talk about basically kind of like, okay, not really like maybe like the highlight of that weekend. For example, I'm gonna bring this up though. I am an Eagles fan right there. I'm gonna bring this up. I think what took away from us this weekend beating the Bengals, though their record doesn't show that they're great, they've been improving. They've been getting all their weapons back. They've been getting healthier. Like that was a big deal, especially how we've been playing. But what took away from that was the Hail Mary by the Commanders. That took all the talk. Like that's all they wanted to talk about on ESPN. So for example, that'll be kind of like just an idea of kind of like what we'll talk about the game. Like what score, what game surprised you? Whether it was basketball, soccer, American football. So I'll keep calling it football. I do soccer because people get confused and they think I'm talking about the NFL. But I'm gonna get back in the habit of calling football what it is and calling American football what it is, and but we're not gonna focus on a lot on that. So that might be like the last topic of the day, or maybe in the middle, kind of like a break from the anime, the comic books, the Marvel, the DC comics, the all of that. But so I've been collecting Funko Pops since 2012. I remember how it all happened. This is kind of like what to expect. So we're gonna talk a little bit about my passions. Uh, Collecting Funko Pops 2012. I was at FYE. I even remember what place I was at. I was at the FYE in Montgomery, in Lake Forest Mall, and I believe I was looking for a Blu-ray when I noticed that they have Funko Pops of Star Wars, and I'm like, oh shoot, what are these bubbleheads? I call them, they're bubbleheads, and I saw Han Solo, Darth Vader, R2D2, C3PO, and I was like, whoa, whoa, this is nice. Like, I want to get this. I'm gonna get two. So I grabbed Darth Vader and I would grab Darth Vader and Han Solo. If they would have had a Darth Maul at that time, I would have grabbed the Darth Maul instead of the Darth Vader. I love Darth Vader. I think I love Darth Maul a little bit more. So there's something you learn about myself right there. Han Solo is my favorite from the Siths. From the Sith side, it's Darth Maul. I just feel like he should have had more. I love them in Rebels. That's where my because we didn't get enough of him in the Phantom Menace, right? But we do get a lot of him in Rebels. That's where I became a big fan of his. But anyways, then I'm walking to the register and I'm seeing there is Marvel Funko Pops and there's an Iron Man, Spider-Man, Hulk. So I'm like, oh shoot. At this point, I'm not great on money. My job doesn't pay that great. So I gotta watch out how much and what I spent. So I end up leaving C3PO and I took Han Solo, Darth Vader, and grabbed Iron Man. I grabbed those Funko Pops, took them, and I was like, that's it. Awesome. I'll display them, buy my movies, and I'm loving how they looking. And this is before the value, knowing like the value of these Funko Pops in the box, out of the box, how much of a difference it makes. I don't even back then the price that wasn't even a thing. It wasn't until later when it became very popular. Now these fresh like these Funko Pops from 2011, 2012, they're worth a lot more in 2018, 2019. But these Funko Pops in 2012, every Funko Pop I got, I took out of the box and I displayed them around my home theater, my big screen TV, whatever, all over my basement. Where they went in the sections where I had like maybe art of a certain character. I had like an art piece of Iron Man, so I had my DVDs of Iron Man, and then on the shelf, and then I just put on top of the DVDs the Iron Man, etc. Boom, 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 boom. So that's where my fandom started for Funko Pops. Next thing you know, we fast forward to 2015. I probably have lost count by then of how many Funko Pops I have. That's when I start. I always didn't lean towards action figures because they were like $20, $24 an action figure, and I was like, why buy this Funko? Why buy one action figure when I can get three Funko Pops at FYE? I was only buying for several years. I was only buying Funko Pops at FYE. Target wasn't that big on Funko Pops yet. GameStop was they were pretty good with Funko Pops. I love the old stickers, and then we're gonna talk about that in another topic. We're not gonna use every topic because we got a lot of podcasting. Is that a thing? Podcasting. So we say, as y'all can see, I have my Charmander, hat. He is my favorite Pokemon. That will be my starter if I was in that Pokemon world. But that's where that started. We go on to action figures, but action figures are more expensive. Where I'm like being limited on what I want. But of course, I always say that I'm being limited. I'm just gonna get what I like. My favorite characters from each universe. Like I'll get Iron Man. I'll get the Flash or Batman. They were always equals for me. I like the Joker better than I like heroes. I liked villains more in DC than I liked heroes. But in Marvel, there was more heroes that I liked than villains. Um, Completely opposite, right? And well, action figures, that's how it became a thing. But action figures was like, okay, once one once a month. Then it became once every paycheck. Then it became two every paycheck. Next thing you know, I'm collecting action figures as well. But that died down. That died out pretty quickly. Didn't really continue till after 2020, where I started collecting more action figures. You can't see right now. There will be changes behind me. I'll show you a little bit of a glance if you can see. Let me lower that. That Magneto helmet. It's on a little shelf thing. Little plastic one that my kid had. Doesn't fit in this room. I went to IKEA, bought a new shelf, so I'm gonna be working on that over the weekend. And the display is gonna be a lot different, a lot cleaner. But the reason why I brought it up because behind me that I'm blocking the action figures. There's a lot of action figures back there. There's a statue that you probably see right here, just the head of the statue, small Iron Man in the air floating. But I have my Marvel section, Star Wars section behind the setup that you can't see, but I do make videos about those on the socials, Instagram, TikTok. And behind me to my left, your right most likely, it's anime, as there is right behind me, directly behind me. This is Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, in My Hero Academia. My two favorite animes in that order, favorite to second favorite. Uh, and I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of anime. Anime, I've been a fan since I was a kid. Like I said, I was basically watching anime and not saying. And I'm always been a big social bug, so I never stood still. Even now, I'm like over here moving. In high school, I have different groups of friends. I have my nerdy friends. I went to the section. If you went to my high school, you know there was a section where people would play Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but not everyone would go. It was like not really hidden, but it was in the back where the nerds wouldn't get bothered. Um, then I had my group of friends, so we were theorists. Like we used to make theories about we big zombie fans, where we'll talk about what what would you do if right now a zombie apocalypse broke out and we were in school? What would we do? What will we barricade first? Who will we sacrifice? And then each person will go around in this circle and talk about how they will do their thing. Um, so I had that group of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards, and my anime fans. It's like so my little group of like we talked anime like hey that new episode like Saturday mornings we get new episodes of whatever anime was out, whatever anime was. And I don't want to talk about specific names because I want to save those for other days. I want to save that. Like I want to make this a short 30-minute video, and then like I said, like there's an introduction to what to expect but we are talking a little bit of what. And one thing I'm gonna share is how I became a fan. And people can ask me these questions. How I became a fan of specific teams, because I am not from Washington. Like El Salvador doesn't have an NFL team. Like how there's a story behind how I became an Eagles fan. A lot of people ask me as well as how I became a Spurs fan from Tottenham, how I became a Barcelona, how I've been supporting Argentina my whole life in the World Cup. But though I'm not from Argentina, there's a lot to discover about your boy if you don't already know. If you know, it's because you've known me for 30 plus years. No, 25 plus years. Cause 30 plus years, none of you here in the States knew me because I was in El Salvador. But with that being said, it's like what else we do? I mean, we play sports. I play. If I haven't played the sport, it's just because I never heard of it. But I've tried almost every sport there is. I've tried cricket. I've tried badminton, and like there's competitions. Uh, then the most common ones, the most popular ones: football, American football, basketball, baseball. I played them all, and I played them in teams in school and for the fun of it. Like, why did I play baseball? I played baseball because the baseball coach saw me chasing a football down, thrown at me. Like it was like what, like probably like 40-yard pass, and I beat the person cover me, and saw me catch the ball like no with no problem, like on some like just backyard football playing with the friends, during recess at school. Not even recess, it was just after school, I guess, and they were practicing. Hey, you ever played outfield baseball? I mean, he sees that, so he's like, maybe you can catch a baseball. Psh, when I get into something, you introduce me to something, I get very passionate into it. Like I love cooking now. I didn't like cooking before, and now I love it. Pandemic caused that, made that for me. Like a lot of great things happen during a time, at least for me, during a time where a lot of bad things were happening to people. And don't get me wrong, bad things happened to my family as well. And COVID was a very, very serious thing. Like, which is where stuff happened I did not expect, just because we were close to the world. We were quarantined for a long time. And it pushed me to stream more because there was not much to do. Streaming more led me to meeting the mother of my youngest child, my girlfriend. We started as friends, like like you always should, spending a lot of time together, different time zones. It helped that I didn't have to get up early to go to work. What else happened? I got into cooking, right? We couldn't be eating out. We couldn't go and eat out, like especially like your a lot of people were living off of the stimulus checks. I was doing a little bit of Uber driving, but the Uber started dying out because not that many. You couldn't be quarantined. Like you couldn't be in a small compact space with someone. So I was doing Uber Eats or DoorDash. That wasn't enough. Um, so because I wasn't making that much, it was cheaper to start cooking, learning how to cook. Plus, they said a way to a woman's heart is through her stomach. So I wanted to impress the girlfriend who, would come down and visit. Um, but I got more into it. So when I get very passionate, like I just bought on the TikTok shop some knives. So I can get like some like dope knives that I've been using lately. And because of those knives, I said, man, if I have good tools to cook, I'm going to be cooking more. Tonight, I tried a dish never done before. We've never knew the recipe. I looked it up. I learned it. Switched it up a little bit because it was a very last minute. Just little things like that, right? So when I'm a fan, like I have an apron, and like I'm ordering this spatula that's like a lightsaber. Like when I get into something, I get into something. I mean, the proof is behind you, right? This right here, not gonna be showing. I'm not gonna be doing show and tells, but this right here, can you recall? Can you recognize this? This is from Stranger Things. But is it though? It is a Transformers action figure. Stranger Things a mashup. It's the bus, the little minivan that they use in the show. If you watched it to deliver pizzas, that transforms into a transformer. Dope. I'm making a video about that soon on TikTok. So videos like that, short videos like that, unboxings and stuff like that, you will be seeing. If you will be seeing on TikTok and Instagram. Now, why I paused was because I want to mention something. Mostly focus a lot of you that are here already subscribed on my YouTube. And again, don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you get notified for future videos. But again, back to it. Back to it. But the reason a lot of you I know subscribe to me was because of my Funko content. So that's another thing that like I cannot be. I am one person who doesn't like to do. I remember I was told, here's something I was told. If you want to grow, when I was streaming at first, you gotta focus on one thing and do that. Like be known for that. Like, man, did you watch Sith? Like, yeah, like that Siege. Like he was playing, and then it's like that game. Like you're known for that game. Like they come to your channel, you like. And I didn't want to be that streamer. I didn't want to be that streamer. Like I grew a lot on Mixer. I grew a lot on Mixer because of Rainbow Six Siege and PUBG. Rainbow Six Siege mostly. Um, why Rainbow PUBG as well? Because the reason why I ended up getting an Xbox, I'm a PlayStation guy. So we are gonna talk video games. That is one thing that I want to make clear. Video games is gonna be a big topic here, but I'm a PlayStation guy. But PlayStation didn't have PUBG. I didn't have a PC at the time. Got into getting the PC because I got really into streaming, and I didn't want to half-ass it. I wanted to go all in. Like that's me. I'll go all in. Um, and so so yeah, we streamed a lot of that Rainbow Six Siege, where it got to a point where like I started streaming other stuff like Madden or FIFA or there's other games and people. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was actually I was popular. I was not popular. I'm not gonna say popular, but with my community, they were like okay, they didn't mind if I wasn't streaming Siege. They would stick around for Mortal Kombat, but I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be where like people will come because I did have that for a while. People will come to my channel, see I'm not playing Siege, they will leave. That's a view lost. It would show up that I did get that view, but I would like for that view to stay, interact with me. Because when I go to someone's stream, it's about them, not about what I'm playing. And sometimes it becomes that, and I don't want to be that streamer who's like stuck. Like, because I've had friends who told me, "Man, I shouldn't have done this. I'm stuck playing this game over and over again." People, and then they started drifting apart from that. They lost those followers, but guess what? The real ones will stick. The real ones will stick for sure. So, an advice I have for people who are just getting into streaming and getting into podcasting, like, stay on what you believe in, and the people who believe in you and are really gonna support you are gonna stick around. Why do I bring that up? Because when I started my social medias, I did say at the beginning, if y'all remember, I did it because everyone was doing it. I got my everyone has an Instagram, bet. Everyone first. Let me start. Everyone has a MySpace, bet. Everyone has a Facebook, bet. A Twitter. Not that many people had a Twitter. When I first got a Twitter, it was basically mostly for news. You will get notified about what a celebrity is doing, what this next movie coming out, this new show coming out, and then they got opened a little bit more to more of like just socially. Like I have people like, oh, I'm taking a poop right now and it stinks. Oh, I just hit my toe on the counter. Oh, I just dropped my last chip. Like it became like you share your thoughts, like everything that's happening. I know someone and that used to do that, and I was like, yo, like what the heck, like, oh man, I just farted and the person behind me smelled it at the Target line. That cool. It's like, oh man, this line is very long. Like a couple of minutes later, oh, I'm like one person away from being checked out. Oh, and it was like that. It was like, oh man, like can you stop, please? But anyways, I lose track of time a lot. So that's why I said there's gonna be videos that are gonna be super long, and when I edit them, except this one's gonna be freshly like it's gonna be raw and SmackDown, and we are gonna talk wrestling too. We are gonna talk. I'm a big wrestling fan, so like there's a lot of nerdum stuff like we're gonna talk about. And sorry, like the focus is not focusing right now. Why? Uh, Game of Thrones, no, like Iron Man. Oh, I have the shirt right there. Iron Man shirt. Anyways, it's just we're gonna be talking a lot, and that's why I wanna break them down into segments of what and where, when we're gonna do this topic. I'm gonna do my best to notify people on the socials. Today's topic on the podcast, we're gonna focus on this, and that, because I don't think I can focus on every single thing every single day. That's why I'm a bit like Tuesdays. I was thinking because football games are over. That week has ended on that Monday. I was thinking Wednesdays because in soccer and football, not American football, there's a Champions League, and like the first games of the Champions League are on Tuesday. So then that's why I was thinking Thursday because Tuesday isn't right. It's a lot to think about, but on the first episode, I'll be ready for the next after this one with bullet points, and again bullet points and bookmarks for you guys, so you guys right there will see the bar where you don't have to stick around for the whole like again the support is great. Like that subscription is more than enough. If you just subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, and I don't see you liking anything else again, like that subscription helps a lot. Like people there, and I learned this the hard way. I would think at first I was like, man, the follow is a follow. Like you're not obligated, that person's not obligated to, like, of course I would like to have that person in my stream, no doubt about that. But if like if you're a big time streamer, right, I met you and you were nice enough to give me a follow, you have a bigger plate, a bigger schedule than I. That follow is more than enough. And just because I come to your channel all the time doesn't mean you have to come to my channel all the time. But if you're gonna tell me you're gonna come to my channel all the time and you don't come to the channel all the time, that's where it sucks. So like I learned that, like I learned to control that, because I would get upset. I would get upset when like somebody would tell me, I got you, I'll be there, I'm gonna be there, and then you're never there. Like I was grateful already when you came to my live, drop that host with like 100 people and hit that follow. That was more than enough. And I know sometimes people want to butter you up because they want you to come to their channel. So I just want to make that very, very clear that I am grateful for every single subscription that I'm gonna be getting, and hopefully I'm getting every subscription that I already have. Grateful for that. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't get that motivation of like, oh, I can do this. I have this many subscribers. If I really put a lot more work into it, or something I'm very passionate about, that will come easy. With hard work, like nothing comes easy. Except that, no, nothing comes easy. I should have phrased it differently, because I just said that will come easy, but like me, like what will come easy is me giving it my 100, because I really love to do this. I love to talk. This gives me that platform to talk, and I'm all over the place at 34 minutes. But hopefully you are getting something out of this. Hopefully you are getting that this is gonna be an everyday, not an everyday, but it is gonna be broken down into bookmarks. Where like, oh, today's topics, and then the intro will talk about today's topics, so that way you're aware of to be an alert, and then you can be like, oh, I want to see what he talks about the Funko Pops. Oh, I want to watch the whole thing. Da, 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 you know, da, 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 da. I want to watch the whole thing. I want to hear what he had to say about the games at the end of the week. Boom, and go towards like at the end or in the middle. You'll be able to just hover over it and see what that topic that I'm gonna be talking about is. And I'm gonna do my best to be more organized because I do talk and talk and talk, and I get out of topic. Like I was just talking about subscriptions, and then all of a sudden we go back to the bookmarks and the whole nine. One thing I do want to do, and I do with my friends, we talk about our favorite scenes in a certain anime, like best fight scenes. Like me and two friends of mine, we are trying to get together. A reason to see each other because we all adults, we all have our kids, families, and we get busy. Like prepare a video on Discord. Let's prepare. Like you get 3 videos, I get 3 videos, they get 3 videos, or 5 videos each. Let's share our favorite fight scenes and let's rank them. Like maybe that's something we can do on the podcast, and we're not gonna watch them on the podcast, but we're gonna talk about them because we would have gotten together prior to the podcast to watch them, so our minds are fresh. Um, I'm gonna have my guests for sports. I have a couple of friends in mind. They've invited me, and I'm gonna shout them out when they're here because I have a friend who has a podcast. Um, and they told me, oh, one day maybe we can get you in our podcast, and they talk about Premier League football. That's something I'm very passionate about. We can talk about why that's my favorite league. Um, and just all of that, man. Like, and it's just very nice that I'm finally doing this, guys. We're finally doing it. Whether it's all over the place, but we can look back at this and be like, man, I was at his first unorganized podcast, and look at him now. Got all these scenes and like the intro and then the outro. You know, all of that. Like I have my outros and stuff for my streams. And I do still stream, not as much as I would love to. The last game I streamed was Spider-Man 2. And if you want to know more about that, we'll talk more about that. Just let me know in the comments. And again, I'm going to leave it here. Don't want to go over 40 minutes, and we're really close to that. But I just want to say thank you for watching. These will start uploading the audios once we get it figured out on Spotify. Spotify is gonna be a great platform to get these uploaded in the audios, and you can listen to them in the cars, not watch them because you can't drive and watch something. Well, you can but shouldn't. Don't. Anyways, man, y'all have a great, wonderful day. Like I said, this is being pre-recorded, dropping on this video. This one specifically is gonna drop on Monday, but most likely between Tuesday and Thursday, we're gonna be dropping the rest. But yeah, there you go, guys. There you go, everyone. I appreciate y'all. If you have not subscribed, and I did not send this message in the beginning, I appreciate all the likes, all the support, and make sure you do, if you haven't done so yet, hit that like, hit that thumbs up, right? Hit the thumbs up, notification bell for upcoming videos, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel because the only way I can grow is with you guys, and I wouldn't want to grow with anybody else but y'all. So without further ado, this is your boy Sith Sanger signing out. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Peace. Till next time.